hoping to come to terms on a trade deal. We know the Philippines wants to strengthen their economic and defense ties within the U.S., and everyone is trying to get this done before that August 1st deadline.
This was a message about unity in its totality and, cooling down the political temperature.
Approving that disaster relief aid package, agreeing on funding to keep the government open, passing legislation.
It means the Trump administration can move forward with laying off about 1,400 people. We know dismantling the Department of Education was something President Trump mentioned early on when he was campaigning. It was also mentioned shortly after DOGE came into effect as next on the chopping block.
Skyway 10K, guys, as you can see, hundreds, maybe even thousands of people have showed up. Hey, guys! The energy is absolutely electrifying here, guys. And the best part of today, it's all about giving back. In the last 7 weeks, we've seen over 100 executive orders, thousands of people fired from their jobs, proposals that negatively impact marginalized communities. It's a shift in our nation that's left lawmakers divided. Chants full of pride for President Donald Trump and the massive changes he and his administration made in his first 7 weeks in office. But these sounds were quickly overpowered.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Democrats holding signs of disapproval, many of them saying the changes President Trump is spearheading negatively impacts marginalized communities.
And we've got to protect Medicare. These are the safety net programs that people in my congressional district depend on.
However, Missouri Republican Senator Eric Schmidt joined the majority of Congress in congratulating President Trump for his efforts.
I think identifying some of the early successes at the border, some of the investment that's already happened in the country, getting back to a common sense agenda. And then also I think it was, quite disturbing, honestly, the way the Democrats behaved.
President Trump touted the work he and his administration have already done, but he also said he plans to make good on the promises he campaigned on, no tax on tips and addressing rising inflation, which may be a challenge with the latest set of tariffs for our biggest trading partners. In the nation's capital, Ashonti Ford. The death toll in the Israel-Hamas war has reached around 32,000, and the Palestinian Health Ministry reports that of that number, 30,000 are Palestinians. Anger and frustration, over 6,000 miles away from the war on U.S. soil. And these protests, they're only growing louder, many of them showing a deep resent for how the Biden administration asked Congress to send Israel money to continue the war. Senator Bernie Sanders voting no on those efforts.
Look, I think everybody recognizes that Israel has a right to defend itself against a terrorist organization like Hamas. My concern right now is that what Netanyahu's right-wing extremist government is doing is not going to war against Hamas, but going to war against the Palestinian people in general.
President Biden and Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, they had a phone conversation this week, and that's after over a month of no communication. And while there's still no talks of a ceasefire, there's still no talks of releasing more hostages, Israel's Prime Minister did agree to send some military officials out to D.C. to kind of talk with President Biden about how they can move forward. Reporting from the nation's capital, I'm Ashonti Ford. The state of California just issued a major recall on raw milk after traces of bird flu were found in a milk tank on a farm out of Fresno, California. Now, in turn, RFK Jr., who is a longtime fan of raw milk, asked that same Fresno farmer to join the Food and Drug Administration to help him safely get raw milk into stores. And this is despite the current FDA's warning that raw milk is something we should not be drinking. Raw milk is unpasteurized, which means it hasn't been taken through the heating process that the CDC says kills harmful bacteria. But there's a growing community of people, including RFK Jr., who say that bacteria provides health benefits.
Yes, it's nutritious, it's creamy, it's delicious. And this is the medicine that healed my digestive system.
There are studies in kids who drink raw milk that show they have lower rates of asthma and allergic illnesses like eczema. This is so good for you.
Well, leave them be. These are people who get their health information from RFK Jr., okay? If they want to eat uncooked chicken and dirty berries, let them.
Raw milk can carry harmful germs such as Cryptosporidium, E. coli, Listeria, Brucella, and Salmonella.
Now, I reviewed 40 public opinions on raw milk, and there was almost an even divide. So I took this debate to Capitol Hill to ask Senator Peter Welch of Vermont his thoughts.
So I think there's a personal choice about do you want to drink raw milk, but I think there's a public responsibility for testing to make certain that what you are drinking is safe to drink.
Walt Bones, a fourth-generation farmer, said that responsibility lies with the dairy farmer, adding that the bird flu has been found on over a dozen farms throughout the country.
Historically, there have been 853 cases of avian flu in dairy herds in 16 different states. Out of those, 638 of those are in California.
Now, if RFK Jr. passes Senate confirmations, he will be the next leader of the Department of Health and Human Services, and he already has a long list of changes that he wants to see, including the overall approach to health and wellness. And while several scientists have warned against things like raw milk, RFK Jr. says it's time we look at different options on health care. On Capitol Hill, I'm Ashonti Ford.